All right, dude, it happened. You're in.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Daniel Valverde.
Yeah.
Did I say your name properly?
Properly, yeah.
You know what's amazing to me is how badly I say many people's names who I see every day and I consider dear friends.
Oh.
Daniel.
Well, I tell you, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. That's why I always say, just call me Dani.
But then in Spanish, you're D-A-N-I.
Yes.
So for people in English, they think that, it's a Danielle female, D-A-N-I.
Oh,
but you're as manly as they get with your amazing mustache and like tattoos. Like you're pretty
working on it.
No, Daniel, it's good to have you, dude.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
You just finished a contest last weekend. What is it? Third, fourth year?
Fourth year.
Fourth year?
Yeah.
And here's really the main question I have for you. How do you make it so the waves are good for that contest every year?
Bro,
because most contests that's not the case.
I know, that's a tough question to ask. No, it's actually simple in the sense of every year we try to push as hard as we can with everything that we can do, that everything that God has provided in our hands for us to put it together and honor Him and honor the town that we're serving. But, like on the last week and especially on the night before, I just look at the sky, man, and then I see clouds and no stars. And I just tell God, that we had tried to be diligent with everything that you have gave us, but this is all on your side. I cannot do anything with the wind and the clouds and the waves, but I know because of the Bible that He can, right? So every day, like every Saturday we showed up and it's something special. There's something special over there. The wind's offshore all day, the waves perfect size, clean. So yeah.
Now let's pause for a moment. So the people listening to this might only come during the dry season to visit. So they think that it's always offshore. You're running this contest in the rainy season every year.
Yeah. I actually know, I don't remember exactly if it's El Niño or La Niña, but on the last 3 years you have been here, it's been raining hard starting in June. As we are doing other projects, building houses, we are like under the rain, trying to build houses and this and that. And yeah, so it gets sketchy, on your nerves on the week before, and you just see rain and you see the forecast and it's like just rain and I just pray and tell God, okay, it's time to make them, feel that they're not getting everything in control. Yeah. So yeah, God do it, man. God do it. And yeah, we feel very blessed because of the days that we have had in the past in these last 4 years. But I'm also anxious if one day we get a lot of rain and we have to feel that same joy and we have to spread the same love. It's going to be interesting to do it.
That's why I can't stop laughing, because you say every year, the night before you go and you talk to God and you look up at the heavens and you're like, okay, God, we did a lot of work on this.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
So God's expecting the same talk with you the night before the contest next year. One of these years, he's going to be like, nope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's up.
Okay, I'm going to teach you something different this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to joke too hard about God's omnipotence and omniscience, but I can't help it. So the contest that you put on every year, what's it called? Let's start right there and tell us what it's about, please.
Okay, yeah, it's called Jesus Went. Obviously, the name started, I don't know, we started doing this contest also when we started planting the church in Tamarindo with Pano, that so the name came up after, have you seen the sticker from Quicksilver that it says Eddie will go, right? So we were like, okay, yeah, Eddie will go. We all grow as surfers with those stickers and reading about Eddie on the magazines, surfing magazines and everything. So we were like, Jesus went.
Hey, so the iCal family can be proud that Eddie iCal's deal here ended up transitioning into your Lord and Savior went.
Yeah. I know, man. Like
Jesus went. So it's Eddie would go. I think it's Eddie would go, right?
Yeah,
or is it Eddie will go?
Would.
Eddie would go. So Jesus went. So past tense. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You could be like, Jesus went and came back, or you could. I don't know.
Last year we had a couple of
I got
guys.
one. I didn't mean what you should have is like one mini contest, like Jesus went, and then like one on Easter, or like he came back or something. I don't know. There's some sort of something in there.
Let's work on it.
Because he went, but you forgot to leave off the whole coming back part.
Yeah. Well, we can transition into another name.
Yeah, it's good. I'm just talking smack. So keep going. So what's it about? What are you doing it for?
Yeah. So it started. How did it started, man? Like like when you study in the Bible about Jesus, and there's a part in the Bible when he's teaching his disciples, and he's telling his disciples, because of the love that you're gonna have between each other, is that people will recognize you, right? And so when you study that part, you're like, okay, you start studying about the love of Jesus, and loving someone it's hard, right? When you cannot like just produce love and just put it into things, right? It's something that usually comes from a relationship with something or with someone. It's a result or of things, right? But with Jesus, it's kind of different in the sense of like when he comes to live in your heart, he starts transforming your heart, and he puts love for the place where you live, for your loved one, for your close people, for your family, and for your enemies as well, right? So we were here in Nosara, loving Nosara deeply, loving the people that we serve with, even though that we don't know them. Somehow we feel strong feelings for them and for their souls. And as a result of that, like we came in front of Jesus and asked him, like, okay, God, like, what kind of things we can do to display your love here in this community? And suddenly it's like, I see like you have a couple of guitars around you, and it's like you giving a guitar to your son, right? And telling him, okay, here's a guitar, and then here's a book so you can learn to play your guitar, and here's a place where you can play your guitar. So as a result of that, you are like, okay, I'm just gonna play the guitar, right? So we were asking God, like, how can we love this community? And he's like, all right, here you are in a beach full of perfect waves, and you guys know about surfing, and I'm bringing people from all around the world who wants to love this community as well, in many ways, economically or sponsoring in many ways. So just do something to love them, and that's how we started doing a surf contest, right? Which is at the main core a way of us displaying love for our community. Not just during the day, sharing through different activities for adults and for kids, but also to at the end of the day, where we do what we are more intentional with, that it's presenting the gospel, right? Because obviously when you have met the love of Jesus and Jesus itself, it's something that you want to share with your loved ones, right? So it's not just sharing the waves that we enjoy, and not sharing like t-shirts or different kind of stuff, or awards and things like that, but sharing what we have found that is the most beautiful gift that somebody had gave us, which is God, that is Jesus. We want to share that with the people from Nosara. So that's at the end the main reason of the surf tournament, to have an opportunity of sharing not just the love of Christ, but the message of Christ, that we believe that can transform the hearts of men, and they can start a relationship with God as well, right?
So what is the most exciting thing that's happened in one of the surf tournaments so far?
In one of the surf tournaments?
Yeah, think about it. You can have a couple answers. What are some of the most entertaining, I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I can tell you a couple of stories. Obviously the weather is something that always excites us. We don't know what to expect, and we always get surprises. I remember one year, probably the first or second year, when I went to Surfing Nosara office, actually. And I told them, hey man, can you just check the forecast for the waves like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, before, right? So I remember that I think Eric was there, maybe you were there, and Brian was there. And the way that, the charts were like, oh no, it's gonna be too big, man. You should start praying and switch it to Garza. It's gonna be crazy big. right? When the day come, I don't know, like that, the swell was big. It was big, probably like 8 foot to 10 footers. But everybody was crazy excited. I didn't surf that day.
I remember that year.
You remember that year? Yeah, you got to the longboard final. I remember. Yeah,
I did, and that might have been right after I hurt my back. I can't remember, but I remember making the first heat or two, and I was so bummed because it was big, and I knew that afternoon it was going to be bigger. And I had the longboard I had at the time was pretty large. Mm-hmm. And it was so embarrassing. It was one of my most embarrassing surfing moments ever because in the final, I couldn't get out.
And everybody was having trouble.
You guys actually, none of us could really get out.
Yeah.
Or at least quickly. So you guys extended the paddle out to something crazy. It was like 20 minutes.
Yes.
And I remember you finally had to start it. And I'm like halfway just taking so many on the head. And it was very humbling. And I finally made it out with like 5 minutes left in the heat. And I was like, I can't win. I may as well catch a good one. So I took off really late, went over the falls in front of everyone on the beach.
Oh, really?
Got last place.
Man, I remember that.
Yeah, it's very humbling. So
that year was crazy. Yeah, a lot of great stories.
It's a good memory at the time. How'd you get to Nosara? Like what pulled you in here? About what year did you first start visiting? Just talk us through your first steps of getting into Nosara.
Yeah, it was through my wife that God drew me close to Nosara. I haven't been here before, and she moved here like two years before me when we were not married yet. I was in San Jose working and doing other stuff, studying as well. And when she was here, she started feeling something very special for this community, right? She was working here at a school, and she met a lot of people in the school, and she started talking to me about Nosara, about the heart of young guys, boys, and all kinds of people that she met. Something special was here, and obviously she felt the need of a place where they can hear from God, not just in Spanish, but also in English. And we talked and we prayed about it, and God moved my heart here to Nosara, actually almost before I really met Nosara.
So let me make sure I understand this right. If I remember correctly, your background's in architecture.
Yes, sir.
So you were finishing a master's program back in San Jose.
Yeah.
And then Maria Jose, your far better half, your beautiful wife, she came here to work at Del Mar Academy.
Yes.
Which is an awesome place and institution, and thank God for them.
Yeah.
So she's over here for about 2 years before you come over. And if I remember right, you didn't surf when we first met. Is that correct?
Correct.
So,
completely. And
now you're pretty gung ho, hosting surf tournaments and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. It's those kind of things. When I think about moving out in here and not surfing, I really see the hand of God behind that, because it was not my heart being or getting distracted because of the beautiful surf here, but just moving me here with a bigger purpose than that, right? And as I was here, after a year and a half later, I got into the ocean with a surfboard. Do
you remember the board?
Yeah, I got a shortboard, and the first 2 times I was having an awful time, right? A shortboard. And I remember Luigi from Nosara Tico, he told me, Dani, it's all about having fun. If you're not having fun, you're not surfing. So he put me on a South Point 80, and I start having real fun, man. And since there, non-stop.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Now you're out there all the time.
Yeah, I try.
You're improving a lot too. You really are.
I'm watching you, man.
No, you're not watching me. But it's fun. It's fun watching your evolution, and Maria Jose's.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, she had a couple of kids.
Yeah.
And she's back. She's back in the water too.
Yeah. Juan Feng and a Paz. Yes. Those are 2 gifts from God. Yeah.
All right. So you come out from San Jose, what was that, 2012?
2012-ish. Yeah.
Somewhere around there, you pick up surfing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened after you got here? Because I remember when you and I became close was when you were having the heart-wrenching moments of, do I work in my field architecture that I've been training for my whole life, and I thought this is what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But then it seemed like you were being called into the ministry, and you were in that horrible spot of not being committed to each side 100%.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do, and I know that was tough.
Yeah. Obviously, it was a transition, I guess. When you're starting a family, you're thinking about your finances a lot, and you know, trying to bring rice and beans to the table, right? And in the rural areas, if you're working in ministry, it's very hard to find people that support you. We're reaching people that their income is not much for the church to produce a salary for a pastor, right, or for somebody that's working there. So we work like in a missionary status, and we knock doors actually every year to try to find people to support us during the year.
So let's talk about that for a second. Yeah. So you do have missionary status, and you are 501c3 qualified.
Yes.
And people might not know that. So what that means is someone in the United States can make a donation to you. They can get tax exemption status for that donation.
Exactly.
So you can procure monies from the United States. People don't have to send an international wire. They don't have to bring cash down. Yeah. They can support your ministry through that. Is that still correct?
That's like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If somebody is feeling that wants to support our family for, you know, a special need that we might have, we still don't have like health insurance and things like that we pray for to be able to one day have enough to pay for those kind of things. But if you also want to support the projects that we have, the houses that we build, you know, not just a tournament, the garage sales, education
so all
programs.
Of those things can get through that 501c3 funnel.
Yeah, it's a mission agency called Assisting International Missions in the U.S. based in Alabama. And through them, like, you get all those benefits.
You know the website off the top of your head? If not, we can put it in the show notes. It's okay.
Yeah.
No big deal. So what about in Costa Rica? Are people able to get funds to you with some sort of tax deductibility inside of Costa Rica? No, not yet with that one?
No, it's very hard. Costa Rican government, obviously, we in the past, churches might had commit errors in that sense in some other areas, right? So for Costa Rica, it's complicated to get into a status where you can get tax deductible into other. Yeah, they are.
That's why I asked that in my sad tone.
Yeah.
It's not easy, man.
I know.
But those are questions people ask, especially if they're unfamiliar with your ministry. It's like, okay, what's the setup? So let's keep telling your story though. So today you currently lead the church on the beach.
Yes, sir.
You currently lead the church at, I don't even know what the right term is to use, your awesome facility back in the Cayo Basilero.
Yeah.
What's the official name of it?
So
are you still working on that?
Of that place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we call it the Casa Vida grounds, maybe, or what's the right word for English?
We need to think of a term like Casa, the grounds of Casa Vida. I don't know. We should come up with something, but maybe someone listening can think of a good name.
Yeah.
But you have the church on the beach, and then you have the church at the Casa Vida grounds.
Exactly. Yeah.
So which one's in English, which one's in Spanish, and what time are they?
Both are on Sundays. We meet in English. It's in Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and we meet under the almendro trees right there in the main entrance next to the parking lot. You will see the chairs and a little sign.
So talk people through when you say main entrance.
Okay, so when you go down into the Surfing Nosara street all the way down to the beach.
Yeah, Café Paris.
Café de Paris, yeah.
Robbins, Harmony Street.
So there's a parking lot all the way to the end. And as you get into the beach and you look on your right, you will see some almendro trees, beautiful trees. And we just sit down under the shade of those trees and study the Bible.
So for someone who's not familiar, we'll try to get some pictures up.
Yeah. Cool.
While this is spinning.
Yeah.
But it truly is outside. It's literally on the beach. You could go surf, or swim, hang out, get out of the water, and just walk straight up to church.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was trying to get you to take that over because you're the guy. Like I felt you were built for that. And I stand by it. That's yours.
Thanks,
and I hope it really propels your ministry. When you were coming into that, you had a lot of reservations. Was it because people were speaking English and your English was advancing and you were a little intimidated? Or was it because you're like, oh man, I don't know? Or was it because it was on the beach in the sand? Mm-hmm. And there's no physical church?
Yeah.
Like, talk us through like what was going through your mind, because now it's such a perfect fit. Yeah. You would never think otherwise. But I remember I was like, come on, Danny, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And timing, just like talk me through that. I'm really interested in it.
Yeah, actually, I remember the first time I don't know if it's the first time, but I remember some wise words from you when you were in charge of that Bible study. I remember that you told me, Dani, if you're gonna do it, commit. You know, just not do it for some months and then it's, you know, just commit for the Lord, right? And I remember we started a time of prayer, because obviously once again we were starting and I was kind of afraid of dedicating more time into ministry and less time into my secular job that was paying for my bills.
Yeah, no money. Kid coming.
Yeah, but then kid coming, exactly. But every time that I got into prayer, I remember God telling me, okay, like, so I gave you English full education since you are like 6 years old. I brought you to a place where they need you to support what you were already doing. And you are waiting what? To see money in your account to give a step of faith? And I'm like, no, that's not faith. And he was asking me, is that truly faith? And I'm like, no, that's not faith. I'm just gonna believe in you. Right? And I'm gonna commit in your strength, not in my strength, but because I was afraid. I didn't have strength to go and step forward, right? But I knew that he can give me the strength to do it. So I just stepped in, you know, and for sure it was a blessing for my life and for my family. And he has the Lord has been next to us through brothers and sisters like you through all this process, and it's been great, man.
So, talk about the two services. What are the differences? You have the English one on the beach, and then you have the Spanish-speaking one at the Casa Vida grounds. Yeah,
exactly. So the difference mainly is that the one in the afternoon at 5 p.m. it's in Spanish, and we have a coffee machine. That's the main difference.
It's pretty fancy.
Yeah. But basically in both services, what we try to keep it truth, you know, real and truth.
And so time frame wise, if somebody wanted to come visit,
it's
what would they expect?
It's kind of like 45 minutes. We try to be intentional in having fellowship, you know, and just talking in front of the ocean or in the afternoons under the trees and getting to know each other a little bit better. But basically what we try to do is like sing a couple of worship music, and then just go into the Bible, you know, just stick there. And you know, this is so easy to just get pushed by the passions in your hearts, and we don't want to do that. We want to get pushed by the passions in Jesus' heart, and the only way of doing that is just to study the Bible, that we know that it's all truth, and that we know that it's inspired by God, and we stay there, right? So if you go to Casa Vida Church, that's what you're gonna get, like people that acknowledge the need of God and that go there to just try to study together the Word of God and stay there.
So what type of people are showing up? Is it just gringos, ticos, people from all around the world, or is it just like a specific? What's your typical visitors? And give us some examples, please.
Yeah, on Sunday mornings it's beautiful because it changes a lot during the seasons. In the high season, we get people from different parts of the world, and on the low season, we continue, let's say, with our main core group. So yeah, you get to meet people from everywhere that are part of God's church, right? And want to feed themselves. And on the afternoons, it's kind of different. You know, when we moved here, we found a lot of people that was unjustly kicked out from churches, or were feeling how do you say, harmed, or they hurt by churches just because they served, or because they had a tattoo or long hair, or they didn't have we work with a lot of people from Nacional, and they were kicked out from church just because they don't have like long pants or shoes to go to church, right? So we started working with them, and from there, we don't choose the people that God sent them, right? So we got a mixture of young adults, lots of kids, but yeah, we don't choose exactly like nobody in a specific. We just try to reach whoever is in the need. Yeah.
So it sounds like you jumped off the diving board, you committed, and then you found success and people were interested and people started coming. So your idea was working, but you still have to pay for it. Now you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Now you guys are married. You have a crazy dog.
Yeah.
And then another big horse dog. Like,
yeah.
You have a lot going on. So paying for this is challenging. And also, a lot of people might not know Nosara is expensive.
Yes.
It's not a cheap place to live.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with rent. Like, how are you getting by? Like, what type of people are supporting you?
Bro, it's been amazing, and it's hard to grasp because it's so worldwide kind of thing. How God has put in families or in organizations or in churches, in their hearts, the will of supporting us. Sometimes it's just through some months.
So almost this worldwide.
Yes,
the support is.
Yeah. We have.
It's not from like a specific church, say in
the
United States that's your only spot, or is it more of smaller amounts from multiple places?
Man, when we bought the property, which is a very expensive property, we got like if I tell you the story, I don't know. It's so long, but we got a huge blessing from a guy actually from Netherlands. He doesn't know me. He just heard about the project and we sent him an email asking for a price, and he just gave us an amazing price, like an incredible price, and months to pay for it. So that's how we were able to get a property, right? So in the same way, everything had happened. People from different parts of the world came and helped us pour the foundations for the rancho where we meet, then the woods columns, and then like years after the roof. So it's been like that, all with our own hands, but at the same time it's got hands through a lot of people and organizations that has helped us to build this. And the same thing with our family, sometimes we struggle financially, but at the end of the line, there's somebody knocks at our door and tells us, hey, I feel that I want to support you through this. So here it is.
So let me ask you a question. If you could go back in time, would you have remained in architecture, or would you have still went into the ministry?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. So here's my answer. I didn't pick to be a pastor or to go into ministry. God just put it in my heart, and it becomes irresistible. And at the same time, it fills your heart with joy, at the same time. Like I tell you, like when I see my life and I still love architecture and designing stuff and being to this and to that. But he puts something in your heart and he start calling you. And when you start following the path that he has for you, your heart fills with joy. So you don't even feel the transition in some way. Now when you look back, you can really give testimony that all that time he was walking next to you, holding your hand and taking you through the path. So yeah, I'm honest. I will answer to you. I didn't choose this.
So for you, it's not that you have an option. This is just how it was.
This is my life, man. This is my life. I cannot, you mentioned something about Nosara being expensive, probably with my economic condition, I probably cannot pick Nosara to live in. Yeah, probably, and we as friends, if you ask me and I wasn't feeling this calling to be in ministry, I would probably tell you, man, I gotta look for another place to live because this is getting too expensive. But this is where the Lord brought me. And I love this place so much, you know, I love this place. Not the waves, the Lord knows this, not the waves, not the beach, the beautiful sunsets. Those are nice. But just the people, you know, whenever I have to go and travel to present our projects to different places or go to San Jose or to the US to try to look for sponsors or fundraise for projects, my heart is here. You know, last time that I was out was when the hurricane hit. Most of the people in the US told me, not in a bad way, but they were like, hey man, you probably feel rested and safe because your family and you're here and you were not at the hurricane. And I'm like, man, honestly, I just want to be there. I just want to be there. Yeah, it's completely, yeah, I want to be there, suffering with my people, with my family, right? So yeah.
Well, the good news was while you guys were gone doing your fundraising campaigns, the community really, as Nosara always does, when something goes wrong in Nosara, people pull together. We fight constantly and bicker and have small town politics and all the crazy stuff. But when something goes down, I can't think of too many places that pull together better than us. Yes. There's a lot of love and a lot of good people. And fortunately, we have a lot of people who live here full time. Yeah. So I think for some of your community initiatives, that actually is a benefit because it's not just a tourist transient town with people coming through and leaving constantly. So let's talk about that a little bit. What activities are you up to in the community? What's the best way to say it? Not necessarily that you're always just looking, not just money. Of course, if you're going to be in the ministry, you're always needing funding because that need never goes away. There's always things to do. Like you never have a final date on what you're trying to do. Yeah. You do this one thing. Okay. Well, now it's this thing. It never stops. That's what you've dedicated your life to, which is service of others. Yes. And trying to exemplify the love of God that you feel coming through you, right? What projects do you have going, or what are you guys up to? Like, talk us through the Mercy Homes, for example, and the scholarship programs and some of the stuff that you're up to. Okay, I'll talk to you about the Mercy Homes first. Okay, so Mercy Homes, you know how it started? Well, I know, but these people listening don't. So this guy from San Jose, Maximo, God put this idea in his heart of designing and building a house in 5 to 6 days to help people in need. So when he got here to Nosara, I think he sat down with you or something at the beginning. He actually connected with Jamie first, I want to say. Yeah. Somehow or another, Jamie came in on a Sunday and said, hey, we got this guy in San Jose. Sounds like he's already doing what we were going to try to do. Exactly. Because we had been planning on that. Yeah. And what we had been doing initially was small renovation projects. And then after we did a renovation or two, it was like, the house isn't really in that good a shape anyway. We might just be able to replace it. Yeah, right. And then all of a sudden, within a month or two, Jamie comes in. He's like, hey, I think this guy's doing it. And then Maximo came through. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, that's it. Let's do it. And then we pulled the trigger. Yeah. But it took a while to get going. Yeah, it did. I think that at that time I was still starting here, so the vision was already in your heart. You had just come in, I think, full time about the time it was getting going, and the vision was in Maximo's heart for many years. So right when he comes to Nosara, we noticed that we have the same vision in that sense, and we started working together. Right, so. He and us partnering with him it has built more than 40 houses around here in Ostara. So it's incredible. And to be part of the project is something that you get in love to, right? So Mercy Homes, same thing. It's a result of the love of Christ in our hearts that has, take us to different areas of Nosara, Delicias, Garza. Dani, who might be a recipient of a Mercy Home, and how do they get it? Like, who are the main focus points? Okay. So I'll say that elderly people and single moms are usually the ones that we target the most. But it's a group of people praying through a number of families. We have lots of letters from different families in need and trying to
judge in a very loving way, to see who is in a hurry, or who needs the help faster, and then we pick the family. It's a house that it costs around $7,000. It get built in 5 days.
Assuming the volunteers and the materials show up.
Exactly. And yeah, and it's a beautiful experience, because you spend a lot of time with people from the community. You work next to them, you sweat and suffer next to them, and at the end of the building, we do like a dedication, and we pray together, and we read scripture together, and we just share with the people, right?
Nice. Yeah. So when we had started Nosara, the way it kind of worked was, because there was just a couple of us. It wasn't the momentum that you have right now, which thank goodness for that. But in the early days, it was, if I could make a sale, or if I could get half the money, we'd pull the trigger. And then at the time, the church services were very small, so we didn't raise too much money. But then the other half would come up, or we'd try to cover it. And then we'd get one, and it was this big deal. And then we'd try to do like 3 a year, and then it turned into like 7. But then something big changed. I'd probably say, I can't remember, maybe around 16, probably about 2016-ish. Church groups started coming in.
Yeah.
So we'd have repeat churches who came, maybe 1 or 2 people came the year before.
Yeah.
Then 6 showed up. And then they're showing up on Sundays. And then they're showing up. They're like, hey, what else can we do?
Yeah.
What else can we do? And they're kind of doing a work vacation blend.
Yeah.
And that seems to have really grown. That's kind of had a snowball effect.
Yes.
So now there's different churches from even different denominations and whatnot that come through and do their project. And for me, I'm remembering how this all started, and it's like, this is great.
It is.
Because they bring a workforce too.
It is.
Whereas we used to have to get the workforce from just people here.
Yeah.
And everyone has jobs, and they're busy, and
it is.
The materials don't show up on time. So if you have your volunteers for a Monday at 1, and then the truck shows up Tuesday at 11, you just lost everyone. So that used to happen all the time, and it was so hard and frustrating. And now to see the bigger groups coming through, you guys are doing such a good job.
Man, I'll tell you this, like, if you know Maximo, but if all of these guys get to know Maximo, you know that he does an amazing job. He's great.
Also, he's got one in San Jose and elsewhere. Let's not just
everywhere. He did one in Nicaragua as well. His team is incredible. Manuel, Bonbon, Pastor Carlos, all those guys, they're amazing. But I'll tell you that this has to be supernatural. It has to be God, because like you're saying, there's people coming from all over the world, not knowing even Nosara or the people that they're gonna give the house to, and they're just coming.
They want to serve.
Driven by this love that we're talking about, that Christ's love, and coming here to Nosara to pour their souls, their
hopefully
vacations,
we can get more.
Everything. Oh yeah,
that's the goal. Yeah. So people listening to this, if you ever want to build a house, and again, it's not limited just to a church. We're trying
organizations, families,
whoever.
We know.
That's probably something we should look into a little more. Is we should come up with a vacation, build a house type program. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be church based. It's
no.
Just people who want to give back are invited.
Yeah,
you probably should make that point.
And yes, completely.
So surf contest, you're now a promoter of. Now ringleading the Mercy Home Ministries. And actually, you know what? I want to pause and give a shout out to Jamie and his hard work.
Yes,
Jamie is just about the time when I know I wanted to quit constantly. I never wanted to lead a church group. I'm not the right person anyway. I'm a heretic. You'd burn me at the stake. I've always used the joke about if everybody knew. So you need to get me out of the leadership program. I just did it so that we could do things like houses and get people together. And literally thank God that you came along, because you're the guy, and you're doing such a good job. So I'm really proud of and happy for you. But Jamie was there from day one.
Yeah, man.
And fiery Jamie. In the first several years of knowing Jamie, I was like, man, who's this grumpy old dude? I'm gonna stay out of his way. He looks angry.
He has the most beautiful heart.
And it turns out you go talk to him or you need something, and Jamie, he still has that. He's a tough guy, he's just kind of like, he's a tough looking guy. But then you get to know him, and he's just the best. Oh my gosh. I want to thank him publicly.
Man, and that's great. And yes, because even though I'm the one sitting here on this chair, man, I know that I am able to stand up and be there and serve because of the prayers of those guys. You know, Jamie, you, Jota, Pano, those that you have a heart for Nosara since the beginning, and churches
Chris,
like
and
Tree Circle and Salty Church and Houston churches, you know, like many churches that pray for us, pray for this town, and through all of that is that we're able to do what we're doing. Yeah.
So, Dani, what's going on with the scholarship program stuff that you've been working on?
Well, that's something that we're very excited about. We have excellent students, mostly from 14 and above and more, who want to continue studying in high school, but it's very challenging for them because they live very far away. The roads are in the worst conditions. There's no public transportation. They really want to continue studying. We want to try to see if we can solve that situation for them or help them. You know, they need a place to stay. They need to buy a computer. Probably they need to buy notebooks, shoes. These kids don't even have shoes to walk along. So yeah, it's something that we're trying to point to.
So could people help sponsor these kids?
Yes, that would be the ideal, right? To somebody to commit with them. If we can get a scholarship from the schools, that's great. But for their daily basis, expenses, food, and all that kind of stuff that comes along with studying, we need people to support.
So could they donate through your US 501c3 based stuff?
They can do it through that. Yes, for sure. They can do it through that or through the accounts here national if they want to do it as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's fantastic. So what you have right now is it sounds like you have a couple students who want to continue their education. Mm-hmm. They're smart. They're on top of it. They're just poor and they live in a very bad geographic location.
Yes. Very complicated for them to get to the place where they can study, right?
So if you can get the housing and the expenses covered, some of these kids could really do something.
Yeah, and they want to. You know, one of these kids, he has traveled. He travels 2 hours to get to the high school now. But, you know, it's very complicated and obviously it's exhausting, right?
When the high school schedule here is different, explain that a little bit. The high school is not like you just show up every day from 8 to 3. It's a little bit different.
The public or the private?
The public school, how do they work right?
Yeah,
people might not be familiar with their schedule.
It changes. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, or sometimes you just show and the teachers don't show, right? And if you combine that with rainy season, which is way more complicated for these kids to get, they ride horses or they walk into the mud to get to high school. You lose a lot, right? And obviously it can it wears you out as a student, right? So we're trying just to provide a better ambient for them to focus and to continue growing in what they have already proved that they're good, that it's studying, right?
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So what might be interesting is if we could get a program like that going, similar to how the Mercy Homes, it took a little while, but it got going.
Yes.
And ideally, that's my goal for any of these initiatives around this town, no matter what it involves and that's part of the reasons why we're sitting here talking right now, is we're trying to get awareness out there. We have a lot of opportunities to help things. And I'm a very firm believer that the people coming into Nosara are the solution to Nosara's problems. I don't think it's the Costa Rican government. We're not going to,
no.
I say it all the time. We're not going to hit oil or find gold and all of a sudden all of our roads and schools and issues are solved. It's not. But in some of these smaller communities, like you say, this kid's 2 hours to get to school.
Yeah.
And sometimes the teachers aren't there. And he has great grades and he has a lot of potential. That's something we'd like to point attention to. So thanks for bringing that up. Along those lines, you and I have been talking for years. I think you know what I'm trying to accomplish in life. My goal is to get a community center going so that kids just like this who want to improve themselves have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
So where we live is we've moved very much into a tourism-based society coming out of an agricultural society, but there's not the education systems in place for that farmer's son who only knew this agriculture. Now that's gone. And now it's tourism based. How are they going to interact unless they have the opportunity, the education? And that's what I want to do with my life is I want to raise capital and figure out a way to pull that off tourism dollar can help sponsor it, but the local populace can benefit. So that's what I'm trying to do in any of the communities I'm associated with.
Man, and that's an amazing project, since I know that it's been in your heart for many years, and it's in our heart as well as a church. You can tell when you get to meet the people from Nosara that they have, like you were saying, they were born here and they have tried to accomplish a lot of things and study with the few things that they have, and you know that they want to go further and further and further and further. You know that they want to learn English and learn how to treat customers and learn how to use computers.
And learn business skills, learn financial skills, just learn how to fight, learn how to play music, learn how to play sports, just all of these things. We could do this. There's a lot of talented people coming here. And perhaps it's because of my job and the relationships I'm able to see that started it. It started this idea. It's like, you know what? There's a lot of people who come through here and vacation here, or maybe they have a vacation home, but they're really talented. And they would love to come in one night and speak to a group of people on a particular subject. So what I'm trying to do is put together a location. We can make this happen.
That's the key, to have a location,
Well, it needs to be the right stuff. So, like the English program that we're going to try to get going, we want to follow up on the efforts that have been going for the past 20 years that Beverly and Joe Ellen and Chuck, I believe, are the ones teaching right now. But we're going to try to get volunteers who will come in and do it on a consistent basis. And every year when they come through, you know that they're there. It wouldn't be that hard. People would love to do it. No one's just put it together.
Yeah, I think that the efforts that has been done, they are so amazing, through these other people. They are so amazing that you cannot ignore them, and the result, the impact that they are having. But, we need more, right? And I know that we should change the mindset, our mindset and everybody's mindset that this side, the beautiful Nosara, let's say, or the American project or whatever, it's apart from the rest that it's around us, right? This is our town. The guys that live from on the other side of the river, they are our friends as well. They are our neighbors, right? And we have to get involved with them somehow. And if we have some skills in our hands that we can share, and as they share with us their skills, right? We should do it, right? So having a community center, I think that give us a great space, like a facility where people that wants to give to this place their skills can come there, and all the people from around Nosara can meet there and keep growing.
Yeah. So what we're hoping with the English program that's coming is to get a location close to Guiones, so that people who are at work or maybe on their lunch break, they can come over, or before or after work, they can get to Esperanza, can get to Garza, can get to easier. So we'd like to get that. Ideally, we're trying to do the location at the old Banana, where the old shaman used to be, the place that I took you over to. But we're thinking of opening up that area, at least for a little while. We don't know how long the property would be there, but we'd like to either raise enough capital to get a little piece of that location, because that would be ideal to hold concerts, all kinds of things that happen here. And it'd be a place to go that could be safe, that has a lot of shade. And right now in Guiones, you have the beach. You can hang out in the morning and you can hang out in the afternoon. There's nowhere to go in the afternoon. I mean, mid-afternoon when it's hot. So this place, if we could get some fun activities over there, like obstacle course for adults, a playground for kids, horseshoes, volleyball, all kinds of just things to do. That's kind of the thought process. Have instruments over there. Have people on staff. Moms can have a mom's morning out type location. Just like it truly would be for the community. We just need money and volunteers. So once we solve that, maybe we can.
We have to continue pushing with whatever we have.
That's one spot, but then also the Biblioteca, the library in town.
Spot.
So they're willing to work with us for Nosara town and Oceanal and that group can get there.
Exactly.
So that's the goal. We're trying to figure out, because a lot of people are walking or they're riding their bike.
Exactly. That's maybe something that the public that doesn't know Nosara, it's hard for them to understand. Like, okay, two community centers or two places doing the same thing, like 3 miles apart.
Sounds 3
miles,
crazy.
yeah, but 3 miles is so.
It's a lot on our road, and especially the way the buses work. So
it's impossible from someone from Esperanza to drive all the way to the other side of town.
They can't do it consistently.
It's very hard. It's very hard. So yeah, having a community center here in where you're saying, another one in Nosara that is already working and it's great at the library, another one in Garza, another one. It's needed.
That's the goal.
It's needed.
That's the goal. So if we have the volunteers. Money's important, but I think it's really about the manpower to consistently be there. Because if we have the volunteers line up who are willing to come in and teach English, and we'd love to have professional teachers, but we could still have people who can read a book or converse. We might have some amazing things coming in that, knock on wood, we can pull it off. But if someone's listening to this or if you meet people and church groups, non-church groups, I don't care. I just want to find people who want to help. Yeah,
I know that the church, our church is praying for that, and we have lots of churches praying for that to roll.
So let me ask you a couple questions just about you. So what is your absolute favorite thing about Nosara besides the people or besides any super nice answers like your wife? Or actually, she does deserve all the credit because she's the one who brought you out here. She
is. Yeah.
You still being somewhere in San Jose, like sitting in a room with a computer.
Yeah.
And she deserves all the credit.
Yeah, she's beautiful, no doubt.
No, seriously though, what's your favorite thing about this place? Like, if you go back to the States, or wherever you go, Canada, Europe, what are you thinking about?
It's a tough one. Not, because there's so many things.
All right, go ahead. Say 2 or 3 then.
Yeah, no. I think, just one of the things that come to my mind is for me, it's how amazing you get. It's to be in this place where you find people from all over the world that has been that they grew with different perspectives of things, of how to do business or how to practice sports and all that kind of stuff, and they end up living here or visiting here, and this is probably because I'm a pastor and because I believe that we all need Jesus at the end. Like we are all here, we are all different, but we are at the end with the same need to find, let's say, balance, or I don't know if I'm using the right words to describe purpose, direction in their lives. And for me in the church, one of the nicest things is that even though they come from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, when we get to study the Word of God, we get united through that in another level, in a spiritual level, through the Holy Spirit. You get to experience the body of Christ, the universal body of Christ, and not in the churchy way of denominations or names, but truly in the sense of the love of Christ in our hearts, united by the Holy Spirit. Even though we don't know each other, we come from different parts of the world, and we enjoy Christ in the same way.
Okay, so you did a horrible job answering the question.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You did a very good job sharing your heart. So let me ask you again.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to flip it around.
Okay.
What do you dislike about Nosara? And what I mean by that is be something specific, not a concept. What do you dislike about this place? Just be honest, man. Because if you say nothing,
that's not true.
That's just not true. There's plenty to dislike about Nosara. Now, that being said, it's a great place, but let's not kid ourselves. Behind the paradise curtain, there's always a reality, and that's what I'm talking about right now. So what do you dislike about the place?
I guess that I don't like the walls that we have built between each other, that even though we're here and we're close, some people believe that they're doing this, so I don't need to have to do anything with the other people.
People get stuck on their own.
Yeah. Like
with their own vision or path. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I get it a lot. For example, like if you're here because you're practicing yoga, don't talk to these people over here, or don't participate in anything that they do just because they are a church, or don't help them to build houses just because the church is the one that is promoted. Don't get into their serve contest because the church is behind it. So I think let's talk about that. This is a good subject. Yeah.
So there's a little, it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is the resentment towards church.
Yeah.
And because you are a pastor and you're leading a church.
Yeah.
And you have a growing, thriving congregation.
Yeah.
If it's church, then walls up, doors closed. Why do you think that is the short answer?
In a sense, I think that we can blame bad actions that the church has committed in the past. But I think that we have to remember, or I will love to remember, people that the church it's made of humans, right? And the church is not Christ, right? And we preach Christ. So I will invite people to put your eyes on Christ, not on the church.
That's very interesting. Down here in Latin America, in the States, it's super common to be able to disregard the church, and there's so many atrocities that have been done by the church. It's very easy to just blow off anything church related and just say, no, too much bad has happened. And that's become very popular in the media and just in daily conversation. So I think you might feel that a little bit extra sensitive because we're in Latin America, where the church is still a big deal here. If a politician wants to get the blessing of whatever cardinal or bishop is in the area, it's really important. So you live in a tourist town with a very Eastern flair and a very different overall kind of awakeness as far as it's just different. We're a lot more granola per se, if I can use that, if I can use that term. So does that cause you pain? Does it cause you, does it help? Because I know some of those borders go up and it's hard for you to deal with, but I'm not sure exactly how to qualify what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, does Nosara being a yoga town, does that hurt you or bother you or cause you difficulty? Because a lot of the people are into Eastern take on things might not follow your Western take on things. Do you guys fight and argue, have big fist fights on the beach, or yell at each other, or type mean messages on social media?
No, I not yet. Let's see after this.
That's such a great answer.
No. And I think most of the people, I would say 99% of the people that I haven't met here in Ostara, they are all very respectful. Besides what they believe or whatever.
It seems to me like you get along with the yoga folks and you get along with people who don't share your beliefs at all very well, considering how passionate you are about your personal beliefs. Is that a skill set you acquired, or you're learning now, or is that something you've had your whole life? Because that's hard to do. Anyone in the ministry who's teeming with passion and vigor, and you don't believe what I believe, and there's a wall of resentment that goes up. You seem to roll through the town and do a pretty good job of that. I don't know if I've ever told you that personally. Thanks. But I know what's going on in your head. And you're an intense fellow, man. Like whenever I hit a subject you get passionate about, your voice it gets going. So I just imagine how granola-ish our town is. That might be problematic.
I guess that like you're saying, I'm strong in my faith and in my beliefs. I stand strong, and obviously I love to share them with people. And I truly believe that Christ is the only way, is the path, and I share that with people, but not because I wanna hammer their heads with an idea, right? But just because I believe that is the truth, the only truth, and I want I want to share with them what I believe that is the most beautiful thing that they can encounter, who is Christ, right? So that's one thing that it's sharing my faith. And I try to do it. I know that through Christ, I'm learning, to love better every day. So I wasn't like this probably 2 years or 3 years ago. I have made a lot of mistakes. I'm still a human and I'm still a sinner. I do a lot of mistakes. What I believe is that sometimes what hurts a little bit is when people have walls in front of you and they don't even know me. They just assume things. But let's say in another way, it's not even about me. If they don't want to talk to me or whatever, it's not that I'm important at all, right? It's
what you're saying, what you just said back to me, your take on this, if I understand you right, is that you stand very firm in your convictions. You very much do want to share what they are and why you have them. It's not any about this you personally. It's just you truly want people to know what you think is best for them.
Yeah,
But that's the tough part though, because they might. Well, I don't want to think that's the best. That starts a philosophical debate.
Yeah. No, and
so how do you contend with that? You feel called to witness and share. Other people might not want to hear.
Yeah.
When do you? How does that work? What if they're not?
It's okay.
They're not into it. Yeah. They know you're a minister, so the wall goes up. Where you're trying to say is, listen, hey, I'm still a human being. I have faults. You don't even know me. We might be best of friends, even though we don't believe necessarily the same thing. I'd love to at least be able to share with you where I'm coming from. Yeah. How do you judge that?
And going back to your initial question, right? If I get to talk to a person and obviously because I want the best for everybody, I want to share my beliefs with him, and my beliefs is not about what I think is the best. I try to point them to Christ, to find in Christ what Christ thinks that is the best, right? Not me. That's what I do. Like if they don't want to do it, I'm like, bro, it's okay. Let's go and build a house together. No, I don't want to build a house with you because you're part of a church. That's going to my initial question. That's what hurts, right? That sometimes, and you've been there, like we are building a house to one of our neighbors. It doesn't matter if we're Christians. It doesn't matter if you go to a yoga retreat or if you're part of whatever, right? Buddhist, Hinduism, whatever, Islam. It's not about that. It's about helping someone in need in town. Let's go and grab a shovel and suffer together.
I'd say the hardest part that hit me, it wasn't so much religious terms as it was company terms. And this person's not here. They've been gone for a very long time. But we went around just asking, hey, we're going to go build a house. You guys want to come help? And this person had answered, no, our company's going to do this other thing over here. So we don't want to be associated with that. And it's like I got punched right in the face. I'd never thought about that before. That was my awakening of some of the walls that exist in Nosara. Yeah, and all of our companies, it's competitive, man. It's competitive. I'd like to think I'm friends with almost all my competitors, if not, or at least on very good relationships with them. And I know they're coming for me and on a competitive sense, but at the same time, we still got to live in the same place. Yeah. And I've never understood why we have to be angry at someone to be motivated to do good personally, but also forget the whole community. Like where I'm from and my whole background, I've always worked with my competition. I'm very comfortable with going to an event with a guy I'm running neck and neck with and competing with, but we're still understand, hey, we both live in the same town. Yeah. We can still be friends. Yeah. This doesn't have to, I have to kill you to survive type thing. That's not what's going on.
Yeah. And once again, we can do that. We can do good things.
I think we're starting together. I think the community. I think Nosara is better than it's ever been in that regard. Man, I really feel that way.
I'll tell you, I wish my days were like 30 hours so I can go and help with the efforts that are being done with the firefighters, with the everything, you know,
trees,
like
monkeys, people, houses, schools, just go down the list.
Just be there to help. But obviously we cannot be involved in all things. But we try, you know, and if as we work together, they get to see Christ in me, and if they encounter Christ in their lives and start a relationship with Christ, I will be the most happy in the world, you know. But I'm not forcing people putting their heads under the water, you know. At the end, I know that it's
so the old "let your light shine." You're trying to let your light shine,
yeah.
And if people see something shining and they want to get,
and like you said at the beginning, if they ask me, I will tell them not what I believe that is truth, the truth that I have found in the Bible that has been there for thousands and thousands of years, and that is being held and sustained by God, right? That's what I will present to them, not what I believe that is truth, but the truth that I have found in the Bible. And why do I do constantly that? Why do I do it? Because I received a gift without deserving it, the love of God in my life, right? And that same gift, I want to share it with others, but as a gift, not as an imposition or as I'm the new dictator in town, just as a gift.
You would be a good dictator though.
It's because of the message.
Well, you know, you've got the passion, you've got the look, you've got the light on in your eyes. I'm glad you use your powers for good.
Thanks, bro.
You'd have been a great bad guy. Hey, look at Paul.
Yeah.
Before that, he was solid. He was a pretty bad guy.
Yeah, man. The worst.
Yeah. They say God can see the diamond inside of the coal.
Yes. Yeah.
And you seem to just be getting better. And the fact that you're content and happy with what you're doing, that makes us all happy. But at the same time, I know you need funding. I know you need attention. I know you need love and prayer. And it's not always just money. Sometimes just somebody coming to help alongside you, it just means the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you a couple different questions. Yes. What is your top 3 favorite restaurants in Nosara?
Okay. Basilico. Always. Okay. It's not in order. Not in order.
Okay, fine.
Okay. You want them in order? That's complicated.
Top 3.
Okay.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Basilico, he always surprised me. Chandy.
So Chandy's Basilico.
Man, I tell him, Chandy, can you surprise me with this and that? I'm like craving this and that. And he always come with something. He's very creative. It's incredible.
Nice.
DSPS.
Okay.
Those guys are doing magic over there as well. And Soda Vanessa in town. It kills me. They have breakfast all hours. I love going for coffee over there at Soda Vanessa. Sonia and Ruth and the whole family, they're great people. They do a great job. And yeah.
So for you, if you had to eat at El Basilico, DSPA's, and Soda Vanessa every day, you're happy.
Every day. Nice. My wallet doesn't allow it, but but I really enjoy their food.
Nice.
It's very good. Yeah.
So, what are your favorite things to do in and around Nosara? What activities?
Okay, I like surfing. I like walking through the trails. I think that's an amazing project. I enjoy that doing with my wife, and when we can with our little ones. It gets tougher with the little ones because then you have them on your shoulders and you're walking back and it gets heavy.
If it's all muddy in the rainy season too.
Exactly. And
so you like surfing, hiking?
Jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a great academy here. It's called Athletic Advance Nosara. It's led by a brother whose name is Daniel, and he's a great guy. And we have a beautiful team over there. We train, we suffer together every week. So yeah, I like that a lot.
Seems like there's a pretty good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu environment starting to happen here. So Daniel, of course, leading Athletic Advance Nosara.
Yeah.
and then people like you getting involved, the Carlos getting involved, Betsy's getting involved, and more people are getting involved. And it's the local populace. It's not just expats who've heard of it. It's a lot of locals.
A lot of locals.
It seems really exciting. So why don't you give a shout out to Daniel real quick, and your kind of 30-second commercial for him. What are you guys up to?
Oh man, yes, Daniel is doing a great job, not just with adults, with the kids as well. Through jiu-jitsu, he's teaching them discipline. I think we all help him somehow to teach moral values as well to the kids, and yeah, he has he's growing as a teacher as well. He's learning new things. There's people coming from different parts of Costa Rica, great teachers, and from other parts of the world to support him as well. So it's a great opportunity, and I think that the price is really fair as well. So
I'm excited for the future, because I think some more good stuff's going to be happening in the martial arts area. We're very fortunate to have Nalu, Jungle's Edge, a potential new community center spot, which might be a huge blessing for everybody. And then, of course, Tiger Brenda, who I got to go back to her. She started it all with boxing, and she's amazing. We're very fortunate to have all the activities we have.
Yes.
In this tiny little town.
Yeah.
So for you, surfing, hiking, and jiu-jitsu, that's your fun time.
Yeah. Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your family, please.
All right. My wife, how many days do we have to tell how precious she is?
I can sum it up.
she, you know her,
she's the best. So your wife, her name is
Maria Jose. Yeah. It's my, like, if I can say that God has put in a bottle the fuel that I need for every day, that bottle is my wife. You know, she's the wisest in our home. She's a great mom. She's a great cook. she's
What's
amazing.
The favorite thing that she cooks? What's your favorite thing that she makes?
You know this, now we're in a season where pancakes, they're a big thing in our house because of the kids. So she do all kinds of pancakes, like plantains, like wheat, like oatmeal, all flour, all everything that she can come can put her hands on. She become into pancakes. So
when it's not pancake season, what else?
She is actually a very great cook. So I try to get a lot of lasagnas from her, but she takes care of me. So lasagna, when she does lasagna, is really good. But
lasagna is a hard sell. You got to work to get that one.
Yeah. I know that my jiu-jitsu teacher doesn't allow her to give me a lot of lasagnas.
Oh no.
So the instructor. So I fell in love with her with her recipes with chalupas. She does great chalupas. But yeah, she display her love for the family every day with something different. She's very dedicated in that sense. But in every sense, she's very wise. Yeah, she's very wise. I consider myself very fortunate to be growing in life next to her.
What about your kids?
My kids, they're amazing. Juanfe is 3 and 10 months. He's non-stop, full energy, 24/7. He's very intense. He's very loving.
Sounds like his dad.
Yeah.
What about Ana Paz?
Ana Paz, she's great.
How old is she now?
She's 1 and 10 months. They're 2 years apart.
Her personality's starting to show pretty big too.
Yeah. And you know what I love is that Juanfe is more like, okay, let's do this, let's do this non-stop, right? And I'm like more like, Juanfe, just give me a hug. And he's like, no, let's run, right? Ana Paz is the hugger. She's the hugger. You know, she's like, I'm like, Ana Paz, come here, give me a hug. She gets on me, she hugs me, she sits with me. So she's more like, you know, so it's interesting. It's a good mix. And yeah, we're enjoying a lot, with them. We're growing very much, with them together. We love to do things, together. So yeah, it's a blessing.
Do they both like the beach?
They love the beach. Yeah, Juanfe is starting to get into surfing, more comfortable with the board. Ana Paz, she's not eating sand anymore, so that's a good thing. She loves to be at the beach and just cruise around. Yeah, it's a great place to raise kids, Nosara. So.
You know, it's ironic. The only way my daughter Kaya often will go to the beach is if she knows your kids are going to be there.
Man, yeah, I know.
She doesn't like the beach.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's incredible.
But especially when Ana Paz is brand new, she's like, Ana Paz is there. I guess I'll go.
Yeah. It's for sure it's Juanfe's first love. You know, I remember Juanfe. I think as an anecdote, whenever we drive close to your house, the first house that he always remember. He was like he wasn't even able to talk, but he pointed on that direction and he started saying Kaya. As soon as we got into that road, Kaya. He knew that Kaya lived there. So yeah.
He liked coming over. I'd pull out like a guitar or something.
Yes, you remember those times?
Yeah, he's tripping out.
Yeah, he loves guitars. He loves hats. I don't know why he loves hats.
Oh well, hey man, I just want to thank you for talking to us. We'll have you back. We'll get an update on everything. Is there anything in particular you'd like to say, just that you're feeling that you'd like to get out there, that you want people to know about your ministry, what you guys are up to, and what's the main thing that you need more than anything else? And maybe we can end on that.
Okay, I guess that this being the first time of me being here, I will probably apologize because of my English, and if I said something in a way that sounded offensive, it wasn't my intention. So I want to apologize about that. And if anybody wants, is watching this and has any questions or wants to know me a little bit better, I'm open just to sit down with a coffee and just talk a little bit. And
what you guys can hit us up on the website, and I'll get you in touch with Dani. Or do you have a website that you'd like to put out there, or email or anything?
In Facebook, it's Casa Vida Nosara.
Okay, so Casa Vida Nosara.
Yeah, I think that's our great way of contacting us. And our website is casavidanosara.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
So casavidanosara.org.
Yeah.
Okay. Or hit us up and we'll get you guys connected. I want to thank you for coming in, man.
Well,
we'll have you back, and we'll continue to cover the Daniel Valverde story.
Brian, thank you, Richie, because you have been since the beginning, and I really appreciate your friendship and love your family, and just
dude,
thank you.
It's a pleasure. Peace, brother.